Welcome back to the deep dive.
Good to be talking again.
We usually focus on tangible stuff, right? Buildings, technology, the money in our
The
pockets.
things you can actually see and touch. Makes sense.
Well, what if the real power, the stuff that truly shapes our world, is actually invisible?
That's a provocative thought. Invisible forces.
Exactly. Today we're diving into this really mind-expanding piece by Dr. Nimrod Israeli called The Power of the Unseen: How Imagined Forces Shape Our World.
Ah, yes. That one definitely challenges conventional thinking.
I promise you, this deep dive, it might just make you rethink the whole architecture of reality itself.
It's a bold claim, but the argument is compelling.
So our mission today is really to unpack this idea, how things like nations, currencies, laws, things you can't physically hold, how they exert such massive, undeniable influence.
Exploring that boundary, that fuzzy line between imagination and reality.
Yeah, and how that line might be governing way more than just human society. Maybe the whole universe.
It's a big leap, but the piece connects those dots in a fascinating way.
And Dr. Israeli's own journey into this is, well, it's pretty relatable. He actually admits he was kind of scared of physics in high school.
Right, he saw it as abstract equations, totally disconnected from, real human problems, poverty, survival, the stuff he cared about.
But then something shifted for him, didn't it?
It really did. What's fascinating is how that initial dislike actually pushed him towards the deeper philosophical side of physics later on.
How so?
Well, grappling with these huge global challenges, he started asking really fundamental questions, like what actually holds a society together?
Or what makes transformation possible on a big scale? Where does power really come from?
Exactly. And that led him to wonder, what if the answers aren't in the visible stuff, but in these unseen forces? Forces we feel profoundly, even if we can't touch them.
And that's where the physics stuff suddenly clicked. He saw things like black holes, dark matter.
Concepts he'd dismissed before.
Yeah, and he saw them not just as weird space things, but as sort of echoes. Reflections of unseen forces he was seeing right here in society.
The power of the invisible, showing up in different domains.
It's this idea that there's a universal pattern.
Indeed. And connecting that to the big picture, his core argument is this: the most powerful, the most enduring structures in our lives, nations, money, laws,
The big ones.
they aren't built from matter. They're built from meaning, shared meaning.
And that's why they last. Because they're meaning-based, not matter-based.
That's his argument. They're not illusions, he stresses that. They're imagined constructs, absolutely. But once we collectively imagine them, they become incredibly, undeniably real.
Okay, let's unpack that, meaning being more enduring than matter. It feels counterintuitive.
It does, because we're so wired to think physical stuff is what counts. A building, a product, a coin.
Right, something solid.
But this piece argues, pretty convincingly I think, that the real architecture of civilization isn't bricks and mortar. It's shared agreements, collective beliefs.
Invisible frameworks.
Precisely. And this is crucial. Think about a company.
Okay.
It could lose all its employees, its buildings, its products, everything physical.
Disaster scenario.
Total disaster. But if its legal registration, its corporate identity, remains intact, the company still exists.
Huh. The idea of the company, the legal shell, is tougher than the physical stuff.
Exactly. Or think about how a nation can be born, not always through war or grabbing land.
Sometimes it's just a vote, like at the UN.
Right, a formal vote, a declaration. It's a shared agreement that brings it into being. Those lines on the map are just symbols of an unseen, agreed-upon reality.
That's a powerful claim, though, that meaning outlasts matter. Can you maybe give an example, where something physical did crumble, but the meaning allowed something stronger to rise up?
That's a really good question. It helps clarify the difference between an enduring structure and, say, just a fleeting fad, or even a conspiracy theory, which also rely on belief.
Right, what makes one stick and the other just fizzle out?
The key seems to be the clarity of the structure and the mechanisms that enforce it. Take money again.
Okay. Paper or metal, right?
Yeah, intrinsically, almost worthless.
Yeah.
Its value comes entirely from our collective agreement, our shared belief that it represents something.
Trust, basically.
Trust. And if that trust collapses, the physical currency becomes junk. But what makes it endure, unlike a fad, are the complex, invisible systems around it.
Like central banks, regulations, markets.
Exactly. All those financial and legal structures constantly working to reinforce that shared meaning, that trust. It's not just belief floating in the air.
Got it. So it's the belief plus the system built around it. That's what gives it teeth.
Precisely.
Wow, it really is mind-bending. Like a constitution, just ink on paper, really.
Physically, yes.
But it governs millions for generations, not because of the paper, but because people believe in that framework.
They buy into the rules of the game it represents.
So when we talk about the rule of law, we're actually talking about this invisible structure, channeling millions of individual actions into something coherent, a functioning society.
You got it. That's the invisible scaffolding of civilization. It allows societies to last, to grow, to change through shared meaning, held in our minds, our institutions, not our hands.
And the author, Dr. Israeli, he connects this to the Bible. Let there be light.
He does. It's a striking parallel. Creation starting not with stuff, but with words, with intention fueled by belief.
That is powerful. But hang on, how does that square with, science, Big Bang cosmology? Is he saying it's literal or more like a metaphor?
Oh, definitely metaphorical. He's not challenging the science of cosmic origins.
Okay, good.
The parallel is about the process. Just like those words in Genesis initiated conceptual creation, in human society, powerful words, ideas, shared visions, they can kickstart huge transformations.
Like with leaders. Gandhi, Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr.
Exactly. Their lasting impact wasn't about money or armies. It was their words, their ideas, their vision, the mission they inspired in others.
That intangible stuff, their legacy.
And that legacy, that meaning, continues to shape our world long after they're gone. That's the endurance of meaning structured effectively.
So if I'm getting this right, the collective belief is the structure, in a way, and its strength depends on how clear it is and how well the systems around it keep reinforcing it.
That's a great way to put it, yes. Take a corporation again. Its power isn't just its factories or bank balance.
It's the legal form.
It's the legal form. That invisible structure allows capital to flow, contracts to mean something, responsibility to be assigned, a few lines of text, a government stamp.
And poof, an imaginary entity becomes real.
Functionally real, absolutely. It can own things, invest, operate for decades, centuries even, long after the founders are dust. Its power is its clarity of structure. It transcends geography, physical limits. It's just incredibly efficient for organizing people.
And a whole economy runs on similar invisible rails.
Completely. The value of your currency. It's stored in the trust we place in institutions, in markets, in each other.
And that trust, even though you can't weigh it or measure it.
It moves ships, builds cities, and when it breaks down, whole systems can collapse. Think 2008.
Right.
Oof. So these things, corporations, constitutions, currencies, no weight, no scent, no shadow, yet they command armies, shape markets, rule our lives.
Their imagination structured into reality, collective beliefs embedded in rituals and rules.
Exactly. And the crucial point is these invisible systems don't just control us. They channel energy. They turn chaos into order. They align billions of actions without some central puppet master.
And their power comes because they're intangible, not despite it.
Precisely. It makes them flexible, adaptable, resilient in ways physical structures often aren't.
Okay, wow. So, what's the next step then if human society works like this? Does the universe work like this too?
Well, that's where Dr. Israeli takes it. He looks back at our ancestors, small groups living by their senses.
What they could see, touch, hear. The immediate stuff.
Right, things like justice or abstract law. Unthinkable back then.
So what changed?
This is where his physics background and societal observations really merge. He points to the linguistic revolution.
Language.
But not just basic communication. Watch out, Tiger. It evolved into a structural tool. Suddenly, humans could talk about things that weren't right there.
Like ancestors, gods, the future, laws that didn't exist yet.
Exactly. What was, but also what could be. That was the game changer.
So language wasn't just an upgrade for chatting. It was like flicking a switch for emergence, for complexity.
You could say that. It was an ignition point. Knowledge could suddenly escape the individual brain, the present moment.
It could be shared, stored in stories, symbols.
Left down.
It became externalized, meaning could travel through time and space, like a shared memory growing over generations, almost like a collective hard drive, as you said earlier.
Yeah. And out of that structural shift came whole new kinds of systems.
An entirely new class. Myths, laws, taboos, prophecies, ideologies, shared identities, nations. Things that weren't just fleeting ideas.
No, they were enduring frameworks. They shaped behavior, allowed coordination on a scale biology alone could never manage. He makes a great point. A bowl of porridge feeds you once.
And then it's gone.
But a story, a shared mission, That can nourish a whole society for centuries. That's this structural imagination he talks about.
Structural imagination. So the ability to create and sustain these abstract concepts that guide us over huge distances and time spans.
Precisely.
Can you give a quick, everyday example of that before we get back to the big scale?
Sure. Think about something simple like traffic laws.
Okay, stop signs, speed limits.
Right. We imagine a shared understanding of how to drive safely. We create a structure, rules, signs, enforcement, and we collectively direct our actions towards that goal. Safe, efficient travel.
And millions of people coordinate without someone telling each car what to do.
Exactly. It's based entirely on that invisible, imagined structure we all buy into. What started maybe as just agreements around a campfire.
Evolved into complex legal systems, fiction became function.
The words became the invisible scaffolding for cities, institutions, whole civilizations.
And this whole transformation, the article argues, it wasn't just random, it follows a deeper pattern.
Yes, a universal pattern. Energy flows aren't enough on their own. They need to be contained by structure and oriented by direction.
Energy, structure, direction, the three keys.
When those three align, something new, something more complex emerges.
Okay, and this leads to the 4 elements of emergence. I thought there were 3.
Ah, good catch. The fourth element is emergence itself, the outcome. So energy is the raw potential, the fuel.
Like money or people's effort.
Structure organizes it, gives it form.
Like a company's legal setup or NASA's organization.
Direction channels it towards a purpose, a goal.
Like making a profit or landing on the moon.
And when those three work together coherently, you get emergence, a new capability, a new reality, often more than was initially planned. Like life emerging from chemistry, or stars igniting, or civilizations forming.
That everyday example helps ground it. Like making dinner ingredients are energy, recipe is structure, wanting a meal is direction, the finished dish is emergence.
Perfect analogy.
So now, the grand scale example Dr. Israeli uses. Kennedy's moonshot speech in '62.
Classic example, not just talk. It ignited a process.
You had huge energy. Billions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of people.
Massive energy. Then, a clear structure NASA, rapidly built up, organized.
And crystal clear direction, get a man on the moon safely back within the decade.
Unmistakable direction.
And the result, the emergence, wasn't just footprints on the moon, was it?
Far from it. That was the goal. But the emergent outcomes were huge. Advances in computing, systems engineering, telecom, satellites.
Stuff that basically laid the groundwork for the internet.
Which definitely wasn't the original mission. But it emerged from that focused flow of energy through structure towards a goal. That's emergence in action.
A hidden logic creating unexpected, often bigger results.
Exactly. It's this universal law of increasing complexity he identifies. Wherever energy gets channeled through coherent structure with purpose, new capabilities arise.
Stars igniting, life unfolding.
And human civilizations taking shape.
So the core insight here, if I'm tracking this, is that human society isn't some weird exception to the laws of nature.
Not at all. It's a continuation of them.
The way governments form or markets work or belief systems spread, it follows the same deep principles as star formation or cell development.
That's the argument. Constitutions, companies, they're like molecules or galaxies in that they're shaped by the same fundamental pattern. Energy, flowing through form, guided by meaning or direction.
Wow, that really ties it all together. Recognizing this pattern isn't just about understanding politics or economics better.
It's potentially a glimpse into a unifying principle, something connecting the cosmos to our own choices, our societies. The same law shaping atoms into stars might be shaping beliefs into institutions.
That is the ultimate aha moment, isn't it?
It really is.
This deep dive, it definitely gives you a new way to look at the world, and it brings us right back to Dr. Israeli's journey, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You can see now why he couldn't just ignore physics anymore.
Because the invisible wasn't some spooky mystery.
It was this universal architecture, something we're just starting to really see and hopefully learn to use more intentionally.
Which raises a huge question for us, doesn't it?
A very practical one. If we can learn to work with this universal law, energy, structure, direction, instead of, stumbling against it.
Could we design better systems? Economic, political, cultural systems.
Systems that aren't just more resilient or fair, but maybe more aligned with how reality actually works. Being deliberate about structuring our collective intentions.
That's a powerful thought to end on. So for everyone listening, what stands out to you from all this?
Yeah, how might you start noticing these unseen forces, these imagined structures in your own life? At work, in the world.
Definitely something to mull over, maybe explore a bit on your own.
Food for thought.
Well, thank you for joining us for this really fascinating deep dive into the power of the unseen.
My pleasure.
We hope it's given you a shortcut to being well-informed, maybe sparked some curiosity about looking closer at those invisible structures holding everything together.
Keep asking questions.
Until next time, keep digging, keep questioning, and keep exploring.